My name is Josh Mann, and I'm the Director of Health for the VHL Alliance. Thank you for participating in and joining us for the second annual MyVHL Day. May is VHL Awareness Month, and today, people with VHL all over the world contributed to VHL research by participating in MyVHL. MyVHL is an online multi-patient registry, which helps researchers identify patterns across VHL patients. MyVHL provides patients and researchers with more complete information about VHL, like how lifestyle, medications, and other factors impact the disease and quality of life. This information can only be answered by patients and is necessary to help researchers identify their impact on VHL, such as factors that may increase risk, inhibit or slow tumor growth, or lead to an effective cure. By taking the time every year to answer the MyVHL survey questions about your experience with the disease, you are actively contributing to the efforts of VHL physicians and researchers around the world to learn how to better manage, treat, and one day hopefully cure VHL. The incredible advances in VHL treatment over the past 2 years, such as the development and FDA approval of Welireg, are the direct result of the sacrifices of VHL patients, caregivers, and families like yourself. On behalf of the VHL Alliance, I want to thank and congratulate you for participating in MyVHL Day 2022. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the evening. First, let's go to Chandra Clark and Dr. Athan Iliopoulos at Dr. Iliopoulos' lab in Boston.
Hi, I'm Chandra Clark, Executive Director of the VHL Alliance.
I'm Dr. Athan Iliopoulos, Director of the VHL Clinic at Mass General Hospital.
And we just want to thank you for participating in MyVHL Day. Dr. Iliopoulos, why is MyVHL Day important?
It's very important because VHL is a rare disease to gather information and data about the disease from a big number of patients. The growth patterns of the different tumors, the genetic information, and the outcome of intervention in a big scale will give us invaluable information about the natural history of the disease. So we thank you very much for participating in this effort, which has been spearheaded by the VHL Alliance.
Thank you for your commitment to VHL research.
Thanks, Chandra and Dr. Iliopoulos. Now, how about getting those creative juices flowing? They say that art is good for the soul, so let's give it a try with Jackie from the Paint Bar.
Hi everybody, this is Jackie here from the Paint Bar, and I am thrilled to be here to paint with you. But before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you for participating in VHL research. So this research is not just important for people with VHL. It is so important for the general population, people like us, because it will lead to a cure for cancer. So thank you for being here, for being a part of this, and I'm just excited to paint with you. So should we get started? Let's go. All right, so for those who might be new to this whole painting experience, here's the way it's gonna work. I'm gonna go over the materials with you. I'm going to tell you our few rules, which are really fun, I promise, and then I'm gonna take you through the whole painting step by step. We are making a slightly larger version of this butterfly over here, okay? Well, I should show it to you. Here it is. All right, so the materials I'm using today, number one is I have my plate of paints. So these are the basic colors that we use. We try to keep things very basic here. We got black and white, then we have red, yellow, green, and blue. It does not matter what green, what yellow, what blue. It doesn't matter what any colors you have, okay? Whatever you have is fantastic. Then we have 3 brushes. These are the brushes I use for almost every single tutorial I do. I have a flat brush that I always use for painting the background. I have a round brush that I use for like the bigger objects. And then I have a baby brush that I use for my final details. I also have a cup of water that I fill about halfway with water. Not for drinking, it's for taking your brushes and like cleaning them off. And then I have paper towel, okay? And I wipe my brushes off on that. So those are the essentials. This is an 8x10 canvas, and it is in a vertical formation. So it's going up and down. However, if you wanna make it side to side, by all means go for it, okay? So the rules, number one, you're here to have a good time. So you're supporting an amazing cause. We're psyched that you're here. I don't know where you're watching this right now, but if you can put on some music, awesome. If not, just hum along. Number 2, when I give an instruction, just kind of make sure you turn your attention here so you can see what I'm doing. And then lastly, we have a no negativity policy. This is a big one. So that means I don't want to hear, well, I'm not with you guys in person, but I don't want anyone to say things like, oh, I hate my painting, it's the worst. Then you look at someone else's and you're like, oh, theirs is way better than mine is. All right, so remember to stay positive, have fun. You're here to have a great experience and hopefully end up with a painting that you love. All right, so I'm going to take you through the whole thing. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to outline where everything's going to go, and then we're going to fill things in. So I'm going to take my baby brush out to do the outlining, and I'm going to outline in a light blue color. So that means I'm going to take this baby brush, dip it into my water, tap it off, wipe it off, dip it into the blue and some of the white. And I'm going to start off by going to the left top corner. I'm going to go over about 1/3 of the way. Okay, so I want you to imagine that this is like a big brownie, and we're going to divide it up into thirds. And then I'm going to have you guys come down about 1.5 to 2 inches. And if you're like, oh my God, what is an inch? If you bend your pinky from knuckle to knuckle, that's approximately 1 inch. So from the top, we're going to come down 1 and almost 2, maybe like 1.5, okay? And then I want you guys to just make a little dot. So that dot is going to be the top left of your butterfly. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to make a little diagonal line coming down, let's say about 2 inches, maybe a little bit more. You're going to come down like this, okay? So we want a diagonal line coming down. It's 1, 2 plus a little bit. All right? And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a V. So we're going to make another line about the same length, maybe slightly longer, going out like this. Okay, so it's maybe just a tiny bit longer. If this were 12 o'clock here, let's say it's around 2 o'clock. Is that helpful? All right, and then we're going to make one more line, one more diagonal. So it's almost an extension of this one, but I want it to slant just a tiny little bit. And sometimes it's actually helpful to use your paintbrush to help you with this. So this next line is going to slant to the right just slightly, like that. Okay, so it's not, if this was 6 o'clock here, we're around 5 o'clock. And this line is 1, 2, 3 inches. Now everybody's pinky is a little bit different. Some a little bigger, some a little bit smaller. So this is why we call it the paint bar inch. It's just a rough estimate. Okay, don't be too hard on yourself. Now we're going to connect the dots here. So we're going to go from here down to here. So coming down about 1 inch or so. Maybe like make a little marker for yourself. And then we're going to do little rainbows. So 1, 2, 3. So I fit in about 3 rainbows. There we go. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on this side. It really doesn't matter to me how many rainbows you have. I just happen to fit 3 there. Let's see what we can do on this side. Let's go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6. So you might be a little bit more or a little bit less. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make another, speaking of rainbows, we're going to make another little rainbow coming from the intersection of all those lines. And we're going to come over to the left like this. Okay, and it's just about, I don't want to say, it's like the width of a thumb. It's pretty small. Finger, I don't know, everyone has different size fingers. That's not a good reference. It's about 1/2 inch. Okay, and then it comes down, almost imagine like an ice cream cone. It comes down to a thin point. So I'm going to have you guys come down, and you want it to, you'll notice that it's a little bit shorter than the length of this wing here. And it just comes in, so the wing pops out a little bit. It looks more like a carrot than an ice cream cone, to be honest. Also notice how all my references are food references. Now I'm going to make a tiny little circle right on top, like this. And you can always make the circle bigger. It's a lot harder to make things smaller. So I always say err on the side of caution, make it smaller. You can always make it bigger. Okay, and that is like the size of a marble. Now I'm going to make my flower that it's resting on. And so we're creating a coloring book for ourselves, and then you can fill everything in. So this rainbow here is like, this is the top of the flower. So we're making our, let me show you up close, making kind of like a Gerber daisy. So there's a little curve, and then we're going to have petals coming out. Whoop. All right, so we're going to start off by doing a little rainbow. That's going to just come right down. Here we go. It's like a little rainbow poking the tummy of the butterfly. All right, and then I'm gonna make a smiley face that is not gonna have as much of a arch. It's a little bit less. And I really wanna make this pretty light because this part's gonna be black, but these flower petals, these are gonna be pink, and you really don't wanna see this blue. So I'm actually gonna take my brush and kind of wipe it off. And then I'm going to outline this with an almost basically white. Okay, so I'm gonna make it a little darker so you guys can all see it, but you guys watching at home, you wanna use as little blue as possible and use white to outline everything. Now, we're gonna make our petals. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna come out on each side. So I'm gonna go like this, 1 and 2. So on the left-hand side, it goes right off the page. On the right-hand side, I have it stop just a little bit above the bottom of your canvas. So this is about like 1/2 inch, maybe even 1/4 inch. It's not that big. And then from there, we're gonna go like this. We're just gonna go from here. We're gonna think of like 2 parentheses meeting each other. So it's gonna go like this, coming right down like that. And then I'm gonna do another petal, so connecting to what you just did. I'm gonna have this one going right off the page. So I want the sizes of my petals to vary a little bit. All right, and then I'm gonna start just to the left of that. I'm gonna come up. And then I'm gonna do another one starting up here, touching it. I'm gonna do this one, it's gonna go off the page as well. And maybe I'll make this one a little bit longer. It's looking too short next to my other ones. And I'm gonna do the other side of this one, like that. Okay, so look how this one kind of gets covered up a little bit. Maybe I'll even give those to a point here so it doesn't fully go off the canvas. And then I'm going to do another one, kind of tucking behind like that. I'm gonna go over a tiny little bit like this. All right, so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus a line. Let's close up this line like this. And it'll look like this petal is extending off the canvas. So when I do paintings, I do like to kind of break the boundaries, break the borders, so that way it looks like it's kind of extending off the canvas. All right, now let's fill things in, okay? We're not gonna overcomplicate. Time to color. So take your baby brush, put it in your water. We're gonna take out your square brush or like the bigger flat brush that you have, and you wanna give this one a dunk into your water. So dunk it in, tap it off, wipe it off on your paper towel. And I know there may be a few type A's out there watching right now. If you're a type A, love you the way you are, you're fabulous. But today you're gonna take that personality and just temporarily put it off to the side, okay? Take on type J, type Jackie here. So what I mean by tap off, take your brush, dip it in the water. I usually say like tap it off one side, tap it off on the other. I usually suggest like 3 taps on one side, 3 taps on the other. Then take your paper towel and wipe it off on each side. Now, I'm gonna take my brush to begin. I want you guys to see how I made it a little bit darker towards the bottom and then lighter darker on the top and a little bit lighter on the bottom. So to do this, everything is still a light blue, but I am just gonna make one a little bit darker than the other. So let's take your brush, dip it into some blue, and let's use some white. And I'm just gonna mix up to begin with, like a lighter blue. I'm not gonna fully mix it because if I run out, I want to be able to remake it pretty easily. So I'm gonna go from the top here, and I'm just gonna come down about 1/3 of the way, maybe even, yeah, about 1/3 of the way, okay? Doesn't need to be a perfect line, just kind of like this. Now, while you're painting, I always suggest to paint your side edges. This is what we call a gallery wrap. Here we go. I say gallery wrap because, you know, you never know. This may end up in a gallery one day. So got to keep that in mind. All right, so you can even come down to about, you know, even the halfway point would be fine. So let's even do that. Let's come down, make it a little easier on you. Coming in. I also don't want you to worry about if you paint inside your butterfly. That's fine. Inside the flower, butterfly, no big deal. So right now I'm not too worried about the direction of my brush stroke. I just want to use a lot of paint, so I really scoop up a ton of paint on here. Come down like this. I don't want to see any canvas showing. So if you are painting and you're like, oh, I really feel like there's a lot of canvas, I'm having a hard time covering, it generally means you're just not using enough paint. So you know, scoop up that paint. Imagine your brush is like a Tostitos scoop chip and you're scooping up all the guacamole and you're not sharing with anyone, all right? Now you can see there's a lot of choppiness in my painting right now. Actually, before we go any further, let me get the sides covered. Okay, So I'm just gonna take my brush, I'm going to very lightly go over my painting to smooth it all out, to make sure all the brush strokes are going in the same direction. Things are slightly smoother than they may have been before. And then I'm gonna add in the second color, or the second, make it just a lighter version of the blue. All right, so there we go. Now, I'm gonna take the same brush. All I'm gonna do, there already is blue on it, so all I'm gonna do is scoop up my white, like this. I want the blue to mix in with the white. I just want it to be a lighter blue. So I'm now gonna take my brush from the bottom and I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna flick, like, do you guys see the motion in my wrist? I'm flicking up towards the sky. Like this. All right, I'm just gonna go all the way across. You wanna do this while the top is still wet so it blends really nicely. Like you can see how the brush kind of tapers off and the colors blend together. And I'm gonna do this on the side as well so everything looks uniform here. All right, and if you have white that's contaminated, which means you can see the blue in there, don't be afraid to scoop that white. That's perfect to use for this because you do want it to, you know, have a tint of blue in there. And if anything, like in this area down here, just paint it like you normally would. You don't have to worry about that flicking brush stroke. You only want to worry about that when you're kind of going into the blue. Now I'm going to go in between my flowers. That's something that people will often forget. They'll forget to go in between places. I'm going to go in here. So you can also notice how I rotate my brush so I can get into all the little crevices. Up here also, if you wanted to, you can kind of flick above the flower so you can make it look like that color is coming up. I know it's not coming from the bottom, so it may feel unnatural, but you can add a little bit in. You do not have to. So I'm going to come on the left here. All right, so mostly it's just on the right-hand side. Awesome. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to do is paint my sides here. I'm just going to paint this whole section blue and the bottom blue, or like a light blue. You want it to match the front. Okay. So this is where the type A-ness comes, where people like really forget about paint touching their hands, but it will wash off, I promise. However, just be cautious about your clothes. I should have warned you about that too. This is acrylic paint, so it does not stain your hands, your jewelry, but it will, you know, get on your clothes and not come out. So just be cautious. Okay, so that is it. The next thing I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to take this brush, put it in the water. We're going to be using the round brush, and we're going to be making the color orange, okay? So to begin, I'm gonna have you take this brush, we're gonna take a little bit of our red here. So to make orange, you mix red and yellow. However, you will find that if you dip your yellow into your red, the red will literally gobble it up. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of my red and I'm gonna mix it into just a little bit of my yellow. Like you wanna start very small, okay? Start small, a little bit of red, mix into some of your yellow. And I like to make a pretty good little pile so you don't have to remix this color. You're only using it for the butterfly and that's it. So you don't need to make a ton, but just something to keep in mind. Now I'm also gonna take a tiny little scoop of my white as well. And the reason for that is it just kind of like thickens up your orange. So you don't see the canvas through as much. It just kind of helps make it a little bit more opaque is the fancy word. All right, now with that orange, we're gonna fill in, we're gonna come down just a little bit. We're gonna make two parallel lines, kind of, you wanna be parallel to the little curves here, okay? So I want you to go like this. You're gonna come down a little bit and you're gonna go whoosh, 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 because this top section is gonna be black later. And then over here, same thing. So I'm actually gonna come like where this butterfly wing meets this wing, that's where I'm gonna start my line, like this. Like that, okay? And I'm just gonna go over like this and like this. And let's fill everything in. All right, so individual brush strokes. Don't worry about what it looks like on the top. That's where the black can come in to kind of fine tune everything. Okay, so that's it for the orange. Nothing too fancy there. What do you guys think? And you could also change up the color. So, you know, I did the black and orange butterfly, but you guys can get as creative as you want with your colors. So just want to make sure you know that. All right, now I'm going to take this brush, put it in my water, and I am going to fill in, let's make some grass, blades of grass, okay? So taking the same brush, cleaned it off, I'm now going to make my blades of grass, and I have them come up a little bit higher over here on the right-hand side. Compositionally, this is just to kind of make your eye travel around your painting. Since the bottom left is so heavy, you want the right to have something going on. So we made the background go up a little bit higher, and then we're also going to make our grass go up a little higher. So I'm going to take the brush, we're going to start with some green. I'm going to take it like this, I'm going to dip it into my color, and then I'm just going to spin it around. So like all the little bristles, all the little bristles, I was just mixing the brush and bristles, come together. And I'm going to, same flicking motion we used earlier, I'm just going to start off here on the left. I'm flicking upwards, and I'm going to start with the green, but then I'm going to quickly add in some yellow, okay? So I don't want it to be such a dark green, so I'm going to add in some of the yellow here. I of course like went right into the orange yellow there, the orange that was in my yellow, not the best move. All right, so I'm going to come across, and I'm going to try to avoid my petals, but if you get into the petals a little bit, that's okay. All right, and I'm going to just kind of flick it upwards. This, and again, just like quick little motion, you're going up towards the sky. So I always apply pressure right when I begin, and then it kind of tapers off. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll notice that I start to get a little bit higher. And I'm going to go up even more. All right, so I'm going to have these ones go up a little bit higher. Again, we want our eye to travel around. So let's say they're going to go up to about, my longest one is probably up as high as like the middle of the canvas. So something like that. And I'm going to get a little bit more yellow in there. And I'm just overlapping the yellow right on top of the green. All right, and I have some blades that go up a little bit higher. I'm really touching the canvas very, very lightly. So you might find that like some go up a little bit higher, some are a little bit lower. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to even add in a tiny little bit of the blue. So I know this is a weirdo thing to do, and if this is like too abstract for people, that's okay. But you know, green is made by blue and yellow. So I always like to, I never want it to look like I just threw a color on here. So I always like to have a lot of different colors happening. So I throw a little blue in, a little yellow in, and I'll even throw a little bit of the white just to offset everything here. I don't want to do too much because I don't want it to look too dark. But it is kind of fun, and it'll help when, you know, you have this really dark black up here. It'll help to have another dark color on the bottom. I'm just doing a little bit here and there, so you'll see there's not a ton of it. And even there, I got a little too much. I'm going to take a little bit more of the yellow and put the yellow back on top, and a little bit of green. A little yellow and a little green. Okay, that's it. There we go. All right, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna paint our flower. Actually, one more thing. Let me take out the baby brush for this one. I'm gonna paint the stem. So I'm gonna use the little baby brush. I'm gonna use some green here. I'm gonna spin my brush around, like it's kind of rotate it like this. So all those little bristles come together. And there is a little stem. You can put it literally anywhere, but I can find like right in here is where I have the best space for it. And I'm gonna come down. Like that, And it just kind of goes into my little garden bed here. Now, if you want, you can have bristles kind of overlap it. You can decide, do you like it to be in front? Do you like it to look like it's covered up behind the grass? I kind of like that better. So I made my line, and then I just made a few more lines, just covering it up a little bit so it's a little bit more hidden. I'm also going to take a little tiny bit of my white. I'm going to throw some white into my grass as well before we get into the flower. So I have this baby brush out. Now it's kind of nice to have like the juxtaposition, fancy word here, of different brush strokes. So I'm going to put a little bit of the white in. Like that. Okay. All right, now taking out that round brush again, clean it off in your water. We're gonna make the pink flower. Again, you can make any color flower you want. It doesn't have to be pink. So I chose the pink, but you can get as creative as you like. So choose another color and have fun with it. So to make pink, all I do is let me show you on my canvas here. What I do is I mix together some of my red and my white. I just kind of mix them together like this. All right, and you want like a bubblegum pink. So I'm gonna take a little bit more of my red. Now, again, you guys have heard me say I don't like to pre-mix too much. So I have it look almost like a candy cane before I get in there. There's a lot of paint in the brush. I'm just gonna wipe it off a little bit. But I'm gonna go right into this. So it's not all pre-mixed. I'm gonna mix it on the canvas because I do like to see the streaks. Like I like to see lines of different colors. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna actually outline each petal again. I'm always creating a coloring book for myself. It does just make it a little bit easier to know what I'm painting. And I'm gonna paint right on top of that blue. So we're not gonna actually see that blue line ever again. Whoop. And you may paint over some of your grass, which is fine. All right, so I outlined everything, and now I'm just gonna fill it in. So I have scoops of my red, scoops of my white, and I'm just gonna go one by one. Add a little bit of the white in there, so I want more streaks. I love a streak. And now I'm gonna go into the next one. I'm probably gonna, you know what, pump the brakes, Jack. I'm just gonna paint all of them first, and then I can go back and add in more colors. So like this. Now for those who are really wanting it, you can wrap your petals around your side edges. You don't have to. I guess I did on one, so I'm continuing the pattern here. Coming down here. And on this side. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit more like this and like this. And I'm gonna pull up. So sometimes I like to pull up from the base of the flower with a little bit more of the white and just kind of highlight the bottom. So from the bottom, I'm just kind of flicking the brush upward with the white. It makes the top, it just creates like a highlight and a shadow in some ways. You're just adding a little bit of white at the bottom like this. And there you go. Okay, now we're using black and white for the rest of the painting. I am gonna switch over to the baby brush because we're doing the smaller areas now. So I just wanna make sure that we kind of stay within the lines, okay? So I'm gonna take this baby brush out. I'm gonna dip it just into plain black. And there's something so satisfying about just painting with plain black. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move over to the butterfly for a second because I'm gonna paint black and I want it to dry a little bit before we add in our white polka dots. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just going to as we've been doing, make our little outline here. So whenever I'm doing these little tiny details, I find that I hold my brush by the metal, and I even use my pinky to kind of support my hand. All right, so you're gonna paint over the blue line just like we had done before. All right, like that. So I'm creating the outline on both wings first, and then I'm gonna fill them in. You could like outline one wing and then the other and then fill it in, and that would be totally fine. So whatever feels comfortable to you. And honestly, if I did this 3 times, I would teach it different, or paint it differently every time. Like that. And this line right here. Okay, and now I'm going to fill this section in with just solid black. It's about to clean up your whole painting. All right, so I'm going to go like this. Kind of go over my curve. I really want to have nice sharp black lines. You'll see how the black will transform the whole painting. It's pretty incredible. All right, now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend this line down. So I'm gonna create like a little outline for each of these. So I'm gonna go down, coming down like this, kind of going over what we did with the blue originally. It doesn't need to be a perfect outline. We usually call this like a plop and pull. So I plop the brush down and kind of quickly pull it. I do want that. I do have nice outlines for these, but the next lines we're gonna make don't need to be perfect outlines, okay? So they're gonna be quick. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm just gonna go from the, where each rainbow kind of interconnects, I'm gonna make a quick little line coming down. So see how quick that is? If it runs out of paint, that's fine, move to the next. I'm gonna just take that brush. I like to re-spin my brush to make sure all the little bristles come together each time. Okay, so notice how it's not perfect. You don't have to have them come in all the way. And the next 2 things I'm gonna do, I'm gonna fill in this little head here. I'm gonna outline it. And same thing for the bottom. And I'm just gonna re-outline, like going right around that blue outline that we originally made. Okay, and then the last thing is we're gonna paint over. So I paint over my pink a little bit, come up top here. And then we also have to make the little antenna on top. Sometimes I find I like hold my breath for these little details. Here we go. I'm gonna spin the brush again. So for these, I do little swirls. So I have one that's gonna come out from the top and swirl over to the right like that. Now you'll find that my brush is a loved brush, which means it's been used a lot, and I could take way better care of it than I do. So the bristles don't always stay together. I'm gonna do this side. I'm gonna come from the same line. I'm gonna come over. You can make one side longer or one side shorter. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna clean that brush off again. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add in some white lines and some white dots. So take that baby brush And I'm just going to go around the outer edge of the flower to begin. So that's the easy part, right? Just kind of going right around the outer edges here. Whoop, I had black on my finger or some color on there and I got on my petals. But good thing we're going over it with the white right now. Like that. And I'm going to go towards the top. Now, the black is wet, so I am going to kind of wipe my brush off each time. And I'm going to just do a few. So the way, see how this, I put a little bit of like a highlight on there. It's just to make it look a little bit more of like a rounded center. So if I just keep it black, it's just kind of flat. So all that does is it adds a little bit more volume. I'll keep this here so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to add a few little lines. This is optional. Well, first of all, also I'm going to add a little bit into the stem there. Stem, yep. And I'm just going to do a few lines like this. And that's really, really wet. So I'm just going to go like this. You'll see it's kind of gray. So I'm going to probably should wait for it to dry a little bit longer. So if you're doing this at home, wait longer than I am, be better than I am. Just put a little bit more white on there, but gives it a little rounded touch. And then I'm going to add a little bit of, I keep wiping my brush off. I'm going to put the white into my antenna here, just like a little tiny line. And I'm going to do a little bit into the head and into the body. And if you don't like your line, you can always, like let's say mine got a little messy in there, you can always take your brush, dip it back into the black, and repaint it black. Easy fix, right? Voila. Now I'm going to take my white, I'm going to do a few little lines in, so these are quick little lines, they're not perfect. And I'm just going to go around the outer edges of my wing. So this is the real plop and pull. And honestly, I came up with the plop and pull after Legally Blonde's Bend and Snap. You can plop and pull. So kind of the same, very fun movement. Plop and pull. And I'm going to come on the sides. And the last thing I'm going to do here, so actually two things. I'm going to put little lines in this little section. You can even put a little bit on these. Don't want to overdo it, but. Okay, I'm just going to add little polka dots. This is what makes it kind of fun. And honestly, you know what? Rather than using the front, I like to use the back. Take the back of your brush and put a lot of paint on there, and then you can stamp it down, and it makes these perfect little dots. And it's great because they come out a little bit bigger and smaller in different areas, and I like to have a variation in the size of my polka dot. So like this. There we go. I think that we're done. All right, I think that's it. We finished our butterfly painting. I hope you guys had fun. I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to touch up. I want to do the head after the body because I feel like the body kind of ate up the head. So just that one line on the bottom makes it look a little bit better. So I just wanted to thank you for joining me today, and thank you so much again for participating in VHL research. I know this is so crucially important, and I hope even with something serious, you can still have a little fun by doing this painting. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure you post it on social media. You can tag us at The Paint Bar, and that's about it. All right. So I hope to see you all again soon, and that's all I got for you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Wow, thanks, Jackie. You make it look so easy to create such beautiful artwork. VHLers and medical professionals around the world submitted videos of appreciation to everybody for supporting VHL research. Here they are.
Hey, I'm Kelly Lako, and this is my daughter.
Rebecca Lako.
And we just want to say thanks for supporting VHL research.
Hi, I'm Nick Koss from the VHL program at the University of Colorado Cancer Center. We appreciate all that you're doing to support VHL research and care. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Anthony from Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks for participating in MyVHL Day, and thanks for supporting VHL research.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wendy Chung from our VHL Center here at Columbia University in New York City. I want to thank you for all of your participation in VHL research. It's critical that we learn together to be able to make improvements that are going to help you and your family. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kelsey from Haxton, Colorado, and thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hi, I am Dr. Amiti Rosh from Sheba Medical Center Israel, and I want to thank you for supporting VHL research by joining MyVHL.
Hello, my name is Brandy from Madisonville, Louisiana, and I want to thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Rathmel. I'm from the VHL Clinic at Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center in Nashville, Tennessee. May is VHL Awareness Month, and I want to thank you for taking part in and supporting VHL research. Thank you.
I would like to say thank you to the VHL Alliance for helping everyone with whoever has VHL, because it really means a lot to us with VHL, and you have saved many people. And yeah, I would just like to say thank you for all of that.
Hi, I'm Katie Fowdy of New York Presbyterian, Columbia, and New York City, and I want to thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer Gallenkamp. I'm a VHLA board member, and I've been involved in our efforts to secure federal funding for VHL research. Research funding is important, and we're proud of the success that we've had. Likewise, we're proud to have some talented researchers and medical professionals working to find treatments for VHL. But what you're doing today is also important. Sharing your lived experience with VHL disease provides important information and clues for researchers looking to find a cure. Thank you for giving your time today and for being part of our efforts to treat and someday to cure VHL.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm a genetic counseling student at Columbia University. I want to say thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hi, I'm Faiz Noor from Malaysia, and I want to thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hi, I'm Jory McGuire, the program coordinator at the VHL Alliance here in our office in Boston. I want to say thank you so much for participating in MyVHL Day and supporting this crucial research.
Hi, my name is Dr. Gopal Gupta from Loyola University Medical Center in Chicago, Illinois. Thank you for participating in and supporting research in VHL.
Hi, this is Emily from Michigan. Thanks for doing your part to find a cure for VHL.
Hello, I'm Dr. Alex Lyon from Riley Hospital at Indiana University Health, and I want to thank you for participating in and supporting VHL research.
Hello from Finland. My name is Walter. I was diagnosed 20 years ago. All the best.
Hi, my name's Darius. I'm a genetic counseling student, and I just want to say thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hi, this is Deborah Collins. I'm a genetic counselor at the Cancer Center at the University of Kansas in Kansas City. I want to thank all of you for participating in and supporting VHL research.
Hi, my name is Cheryl from Long Island, New York, and I want to say thank you for supporting VHL research.
Hi, VHL family. It's Heidi Leone, Director of Philanthropy for the VHL Alliance. Wanted to thank you so much for supporting research and joining MyVHL Day in 2022.
And I want to add a big thank you. Let's find the cure, guys. Let's find the cure.
It is amazing how much support there is for VHL research around the world. Thank you to everybody who submitted videos. Now, I know that participating in MyVHL can sometimes take a while, but I hope you have some energy left for some dancing because I am excited to introduce, all the way from Natick, Massachusetts, the Grateful Teds.
Hi, I'm Ted.
And I am Ted.
We are the Grateful Teds, and we are so thankful to join your event today, the MyVHL Day, and very grateful to the people from the VHL Alliance for inviting us. I hope you've learned a lot, and I want to thank you for supporting VHL research. We're going to play some tunes from the Grateful Dead, and we'll get right into it.
Going down the road, feeling bad. Yeah. Don't wanna be treated this way. Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Going down the road, feeling bad. Yeah. Don't wanna be treated this way.
Alright, thank you. This next song was actually the first song that the Grateful Teds ever played together many years ago, sitting around a fire. And at the time we thought it sounded great, but
May have been the greatest song in history.
Not so much after listening to it, so here we go.
Winds will blow all my troubles away. I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train.
Thank you. And once again, thank you all for tuning in and for supporting the VHL Alliance and for joining us on MyVHL Day. We really do want to thank you for supporting VHL research. It's really just a tremendous community, and we're glad that we were invited to be a part of it.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Dire Wolf off of Working Man's Dead. Fantastic album, probably one of my favorite periods of songwriting for the Grateful Dead.
Just like Jack the Ripper, just like Mojo Hand, just like Bill Sunday, shotgun right down bang. money, just like Frankenstein. Crank your chain, cut your chain, try to walk the line. Did you say your name was Rambling Road? Rambling on baby, is that a bad easy? Rambling on the road, I'm gonna sing you 100 verses in ragtime. I know the song, it ain't never gonna end. I'm gonna march you up and down along your county line, take you to the leader of a band. Goodbye, mama and papa. Goodbye, Jack and Jim. The grass ain't greener and the water ain't sweeter inside of the head. Whoa, did you say your name was Rambling Road? Rambling on, baby, said that easy. Rambling on the road. Rambling on roads.
Thank you. That was Ramblin' Rose from Europe '72. Bunch of amazing tunes that were never released on an album, but came out on that album, and would certainly recommend that if you're looking to get into the Dead. And once again, many thanks to our friends at the VHL Alliance, and thank you for your participation in this community and for your support of VHL research. It is really just gratefully appreciated, and glad we could be a part of this great day, this MyVHL Day. So
I am Ted.
and I'm Ted, and we are the Grateful Teds. has been covered by many, many people. Jimmy Buffett, Sublime, I think Dave Matthews did a cover, a bunch of people. Great tune. All right, this next one's off American Beauty, probably my favorite Grateful Dead album. Ton of amazing songs on it, and it's probably one that you might know as well. So here we go.
Got my chips cashed in, keep trucking like a two-dog band together, more or less in line, just keep trucking on. There was a den of fashion monkeys out on Main Street, Chicago, New York, Detroit, and it's all the same street. Your typical city, I'm all in a typical daydream. Hang it up and see what tomorrow brings. Dallas, got a slot machine. Houston, close to New Orleans. New York, it's got the ways and means, just won't let you be. Most of the cats that you meet on the street think are true love. Most of the time they're sitting and crying at home. One of these days, you know, they gotta get going. Out of the door and down the streets all alone. Trucking like a doo-dog man once told me you got to play your hand sometime. You gotta say worth a dime if you don't lay it down. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me, what a long, strange trip it's been. What in the world ever became a sweet Jane? She lost her sparkle, you know she isn't the same. Living on red, vitamin C and cocaine. All Frank can say is ain't a shame. Trucking up to Buffalo, been thinking you got to mellow slow. Takes time, you pick a place to go, just keep trucking now. Sitting and staring out of the hotel window, get down and kick the door in again. I like to get some sleep before we travel. If you gonna want it, I ain't gonna come in. Busted down a Bourbon Street, set up like a bowling pin. Knocked down, you get to wear it thin, just won't let you be. You're sick of hanging around and you like to travel. Get tired of traveling, you want to settle down. I guess I can't revoke your soul for trying. Get out of the door and light up the go around. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me, what a long, strange trip it's been. Trucking, I'm going home.
Trucking. Thank you very much. That one is Trucking. And again, many thanks to the great people over at the VHL Alliance for hosting us tonight. Thank you all for joining this great event, MyVHL Day. And also thank you so much again for your support of the VHL community and for VHL research. So we are excited to be here. And we've got probably 2 or maybe 3 more for you. And that'll do it.
We're in tune a little bit. So I'll try something a little better.
So much for listening. We appreciate it. Thank you for your support of the VHL Alliance and of the VHL community and certainly of VHL research. I hope you've enjoyed the VHL Day, MyVHL Day, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you at a Grateful Ted's concert around the Metro West area.
Thanks, Ted and Ted. That was awesome. I hope everybody's having a fun night. I have some exciting announcements to share. Registration opens tomorrow, May 2nd, for the next Surviving and Thriving Together cohort program. It's a 4-week training program for patients and caregivers who were recently diagnosed with VHL, where you will meet and develop a support network with other VHLers, learn more about the disease straight from the experts, learn how to better support and advocate for yourself, and more. You can find out more and register at vhl.org/cohort. We know that being affected by VHL can often feel lonely or alienating, but you're not alone. Please consider joining one of our amazing discussion calls, including our patient caregiver call, our Parents of VHLers call, and our Low No Vision call, which are a great way to find support, share experiences, and learn from other members of the VHL community. You can find out more and sign up at vhl.org/calls. Please join us on Wednesday, May 18th for our VHLA Warrior Call 2022 honoring Dr. Athan Iliopoulos. You can find out more and register at vhl.org/warriorcall. You can also hear Dr. Iliopoulos give the community an update on WellyReg at the VHLA Town Hall taking place on Wednesday, May 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can find out more and register at vhl.org/townhall. Thank you again for spending time with us today and participating in the MyVHL Patient Natural History Study. By doing so, you have joined the efforts of thousands of people around the world to contribute to vital VHL research. During these difficult times, where people seem more disconnected than ever, it is inspiring to see the VHL community come together. By doing so, you have not only helped the VHL community, but the general population as well. Because researchers now know that research into finding a cure for VHL will also contribute to finding a cure for other serious diseases. Thank you for your time, dedication, resilience, and for everything you do to support our vision of curing cancer through VHL. Have a wonderful evening and happy VHL Awareness Month.